Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. Tonight is January 4th, 2022. I got to start trying to get these videos out earlier in the day. Maybe I'll get more views. But tonight, we're going to talk about the royals, Will and Kate here, and Dad Charles, and, the other two that are they still royals? Meghan, Harry, maybe, maybe not. But, especially Will and Kate, they went out and they created the Earthshot Prize, and they've refused to give the world solutions the world needs. But, right now that doesn't stop Prince Charles from praising his son's work on environmental issues. And Charles says the planet needs to go on warlike footing. And this is yesterday, January 3rd, 2022. Back here in November, the Queen praises Charles and Prince William's efforts to tackle climate change. Doesn't mention Harry. Well, you know what? All three of them won't do anything, really. They're doing some fluff, they're doing some remedial while refusing light years better. And that's what we're going to talk about here tonight. Who else picked up on promoting Charles praise? Well, that would be page 6. They say, oh, his sweet words about his youngest son come amid their reported fallout, because, Charles praises William and Harry. And I say, page 6 is on my big distribution, which proves the royals and all environmental voices are preventing solutions fraud since November 93. And that's headed, by Vale Gore, Sundance, Redford, blah, blah. And then this video that I put out when Will and Kate started the Earthshot Prize. And I said, I am the bullseye. I am the target, the bullseye of what the world needs. And you can get this implemented. Now, has this gotten to Will and Kate? All of my communications? Probably not. They have handlers and they have people who are running this Earthshot Prize. It's ridiculous. It's a bunch of celebrities and David Attenborough, he's a narrator and he's been calling for climate solutions for decades and we need them. And he's out there promoting Greta. You know what? Him and the people that run this Earthshot Prize, they're not going to ever let actual real solutions get implemented if it means that, a bunch of Charles's friends are going to be exposed, including Charles himself. For it's not like I got to Charles, because that's not easy. Here's the Royals website and their sustainability page, and that's a picture of Charles from, I don't know, seems like that picture circulated. I've seen it before, maybe. But, for more than 4 decades, the Prince of Wales has used his unique position to champion action for a sustainable future. Oh, oh, really? Uh, Let me see. Let me see. That includes climate change, deforestation, and ocean pollution. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. 4 decades, like everybody else or more in the environmental, working for solutions, trying to prevent things from getting worse, and every global report states things are getting worse even faster than expected, to the point where Charles says we now have to have warlike footing. Okay, but Charles is the absolute complete failure, like every other environmental voice out there. Climate change has, according to them, only gotten worse. Deforestation, worse. Ocean pollution. I mean, had any of them prevented the prevented our disposable society since November 93 when I asked them, we wouldn't have the ocean garbage patch. We wouldn't have a lot of ocean pollution out there. Granted, not all is just disposables, but man, oh man, we would have really cleaned up our act in a lot of these areas, and we haven't. Why? Well, in part, I've yeah. Okay, you try to get in touch with the royal family. Okay. Okay, yeah, maybe if I lived over there and I got to their switchboard for them to, I don't know, put you through to a message, but there's no email, there's just nothing. There's just nothing. But when their kids broke out and the Earthshot Prize they started a Royal Foundation. I'll show you some, communications. It was all in their form that's so cumbersome to use. But, the Earthshot Prize, they actually have an email out there. And Harry and Meghan, they started their Sussex Royal, and I guessed at info at. And I had a bunch of emails that, didn't come back to me. And until well, one day right here, where info at royalfoundation.com. Oh, no, this is Royal Foundation, not Success. And yeah, your email address isn't on the list. No, this was to Harry and Meghan. It, however, came back Royal Foundation. But this was from Harry and Meghan that your email address isn't on the list. they, they actually really put that. Your email address isn't on the list. That's just so funny. But you know what? They did, they do have these pages where I post comments, and you'll see communications and emails I send to these people. But will they allow solutions? No. No, they never will. In part because, as I said, Charles and all his friends, like right here, oh yeah, he met with Robert Redford, and when Redford had a Sundance London festival, and this was back in 2012, and they exchanged ideas on greener environment. Oh, okay. And Robert Redford had been refusing the solutions the world needs and Sundance, and shortly after November 93. Okay, so that's 19 years later here. But now they're going to talk ideas, and still it's now a decade later, and what have they done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, there's a lot of praise out there. They're all really good at giving themselves praise. It's just sad. The Earthshot Prize, this is their Facebook page, and I haven't posted in a little. Well, they haven't. Oh, 4 days ago they put out a post there, but I haven't. I don't have time to go to everybody's page every day and remind everybody what frauds they are, but they're discover extraordinary solutions to the greatest challenges facing our planet. No, they truly don't. They truly won't allow solutions. Right here, you know who won? Last year, it was maybe December-ish. They had a big thing in London where they handed out their first awards. Maybe it was November, because they had their award ceremony, and then this right here was them at COP26 with their finalists. Oh yes, winners and finalists. And right here, now, sustainability for a waste-free world. The royals who have been refusing to help end our disposable society, from homes to fast food to stadium concessions to packaging and transportation packaging, they awarded it to the city of Milan for food waste hubs. 1/3 of all foods wasted. Yeah, I'm not about wasted food, but it says that they give the equivalent of like 260,000 meals a year from food waste. Now they don't say exactly what that waste is. It comes from supermarkets and companies' canteens. So, it sounds like maybe things that are expired or, still good but can't be sold, and things that, have been cooked and nobody ate. And so they distribute it to the neediest citizens. But, the thing is the supermarkets donating this to, they say, to food banks and charities. I mean, that's good, but if you're going to cheerlead things that are cooked from companies' canteens, because now cooked food that isn't eaten is going to waste, you know what? The solution there is you just make sure you don't have cooked food that goes to waste. And believe me, you say, oh, you can't do that, you're a restaurant. Yeah, you can. Okay, I've been in the tourist industry. I've worked banquets departments. I've seen them other places. One of the latest ones I saw at a university in Bozeman, Montana, MSU, and okay, yes, for 2.5 months until I started. I was a banquet captain, and but I started giving. I had been feeding food to meetings that are crying for environmental solutions. So I'd be like, "Oh, here's the solution," and you can't have that when the university won't lead and they don't care about the environment. So let me tell you how much food we threw out. It was just half of what got sent out would come back. And not for like one banquet, but like for most every banquet they did, from small to big. Okay. And well, maybe not the big, like half, but small ones, like the food waste. And so they're going to compost it. And I'm like, no, no, no. The solution isn't composting. Okay, the solution is you don't cook all this food. You don't have it manufactured, packaged, you know, put in shipping packaging and then transported so that you refrigerate it all the way along. You store it. It's in heated rooms. It's in refrigeration. And then what do? You just throw it all away. It's not just the food. It is all of the processes that manufactured it and packaged it and kept it warm, kept it cold. I mean, you throw all that away. And so a lot of this food waste is something that really needs to have a much higher level solution. Okay. But this is what they did. And it's not even a good solution. This is just not even, it really needs significant upgrades to its operation. But we could be having a completely non disposable world. We could have ended our disposable society had the royals used their voice for it, not just given out awards, but use their voice for it. But they won't. They just won't. And as I say, I don't even really think this has gotten to like Will and Kate because all of their handlers just simply won't allow real solutions. It's just not something they went, oh, there's this guy. This is David Attenborough. Sir, oh, I'm sorry, Sir David Attenborough. You know, he's just a fool. He has no solutions. He's just out there screaming for solutions all the time. He's a narrator, promotes Greta, but do you hear him using his voice to actually give the world the solutions it needs, light years better work than the royals will allow to have happen in cheerlead? No, no, and you never will. So, you know, this right here are just some of back the correspondence I sent the Royal Foundation, and maybe that other email was from the Royal Foundation. Info at it worked for a while, and then it didn't work. Whether it was Megan or it was at the time, or maybe I was putting both of them on an email distribution. But it seemed to have worked for a while. But I'm not. I'm not on the list. No, because they won't allow solutions. And this was before they had the Earthshot Prize. Will and Kate, I think the four of them put out the Royal Foundation together. And, I would always try to keep it short because so I could just take a screenshot of my message. But, they give you no. So it says my message has gotten to them. And then I did send emails when Royal Sussex came out, and yeah, Infrared Royal Foundation only accepts messages from people in its organizations on its allowed senders list. Yeah, no, of course they won't allow me on their allowed senders list because they won't allow solutions. Period. Period. And so much isn't getting done because the Royals will not be the lead. They could, bam, anything they do, press. Okay? If Greta had a solution, they'd be out there, but Greta's job is to not have a solution. Not that Greta could actually come up with solutions, but I mean if Greta were given permission but to promote solutions, but then right, everybody who prevents solutions but screaming for them is in Greta's circle, including the royals, and they just won't allow solutions. So this is when the Earthshot Prize started. Bill Gates, he he oh yes he he complimented them, solving the world's toughest challenge, like fighting the worst impacts of climate change, requires lots of new ideas and talented people working across many fields. I'm glad to see this effort in support of this important work. Gates, him and his foundation have been refusing solutions for, I'm sure, way more than a decade now. In my book a decade ago, I'm like, hey, Bill, his house in Big Sky literally, and I am not even kidding, was 1,000 feet up the hill from me. I'm like, come over, literally 1,000 feet up the hill from me. No joke. Anyways, but I remind him that, oh yeah, you know what? The Royal Foundation has Earthshot because your foundation has refused to give the world the environmental solution the world needs for about a decade, and you refused since a Reddit asked me anything where you deleted my questions 4 times but replied to someone else, we need solutions. I can get 3 of your 4 zero-wish variables to 0 and have invited you over many times since right here. Oh, for over a decade, I lived 1,000 feet down the hill from you in Big Sky, right? And this is what you won't do, Bill. And Bill won't do it. But Bill's out there stealing my ideas now. Bill's out there telling Anderson Cooper that we do need to. He's like, look at this. He takes him out to like a fast food eatery, and then he tells Anderson, but look at all this waste. Well, you know what, Bill? Don't go there. Okay? And you've been refusing to do anything about it, and the Royals still refuse to do anything about it, but you could have already solved this toughest challenge, and you won't, and you still won't. So now the Royals are pretending to, but they won't. it's it's just a big game to all these people. It truly is really just a big game to all these people. It's just I just don't know how these people sleep at night. But here's my another message to the Royal Foundation. Environmental 911 call world needs. Again, give the world the solutions or give it a rest. But that, of course, would just get the people working at the Royal Foundation in a little huff, like, oh my God, how dare that American talk to them like that? These are royals, right? I mean, so, but Harry, remember when Harry went to that Google camp where 400 people showed up in like right here. This was at COP26, but where the Royals were, with all of their winners and everybody else. So tons of people came in on private jets, and right, private jets used by all of these people that are looking for solutions, right? Right. I mean, but and Harry, when he went to that Google camp, it was with all those celebrities, that was one of the big mocking points. But and he gave a barefoot speech about climate change. But will he do anything? No, no. Even though he says there's an emergency, it's a race against time, in which we are losing, one which we are losing. Right, right, because they all refuse solutions. So, Harry says we're all part of the problem, right? We are, because our environmental problems are the end result of each one of our irresponsible daily actions. And so the problem is really simple, because it's actually really simple to take our irresponsible actions out of our daily lives. Like right here, Megan. Oh my God, she was so offended. Like, here he's constantly obsessed with turning off electricity. Well, why not? You're not even using it. And Harry, have you ever heard him out there using his voice telling people, like, hey people, man, I do it. It's cool. Do it. No, 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 no. And Megan, the headline is Megan. Megan is just like, oh my God, why are you bothering me? you know, I mean, but they promote environmental activists, Harry and Meghan. That's what they promote themselves as. But Meghan, right, just why don't you bot me with like a really simple solution, Harry? We're bringing kids into the world, We're royals. It doesn't matter, but there's a ticking clock to protect our planet. But will they? No, and right here, I told them, about this. I'm like, give the world the light years best environmental solutions on the planet that will produce immediate results. That was a while back, but will they? No, they don't have to. Here's some, oh, this is, to their Archwell. I've communicated a few times through their correspondence form. And, oh, here he's out supporting sustainable tourism. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Really? Really? Charles in his tourism, Harry in his Google camp. Are you kidding me? But, right. And let me tell you, resorts are the farthest thing from responsible. Okay. Oh my God. No. No, 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 no. And just another thing to Archwell. Yes. Oh yeah, hey. But well, this was when Harry went to the Aspen Institute, hired him for something. I'm like, the Aspen Institute has been refusing the solutions the world needs since um, the mid 90s. Okay. When Vale told me to leave town, when, you know what, in a video the other night, the talking goes so fast in these. And I said that Vale gave me a pass, and then they didn't talk to me till the end of the ski year, and they brought me in. Chris Ryman had given me the pass. He called me in, and he told me to leave town. Well, what I didn't mention, because this goes so fast, is um, Joe Macy pinch hit for Chris Ryman. It's in my book. I've put it plenty of other places. I was like, Joe, what are you doing here? Where's Chris? And he's like, well, Chris couldn't make it. I'm like, oh, imagine that. Chris Ryman not caring. And Joe, I mean, he was a nice guy. When you live in these towns, you run into people all the time, so you just kind of know who people are, and you kind of have a little chit chat with them. I always had a little chit chat with Joe, and now we're in this meeting together, and he was like, Eileen, you're just totally being wasted here. You have to go work in a think tank. Aspen has one. And I'm like, Joe, did you just tell me to leave town? No. I'm like, well, yeah, you did. And no, 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 they didn't. But, eventually I was like, well, maybe in Aspen they'll let me achieve. In Vale I was still working in the sweatshop that is the tourist industry. And I was over that about 2 to 3 months into it. It's not fun working in a sweatshop, and especially when you want to achieve. So, I did go over to Aspen and the Aspen Institute. They're on email distribution line. To this day, they don't care about solutions. But Harry got hired for them. I don't know, something about diversity maybe. But, it's like, Harry, you and the Aspen Institute, but do they care about solutions? No. But does that stop them from pretending like they do and from them praising each other? No. And will it stop, you know, page 6? Who knows? Page 6 is on so many of my email distributions with the Royals, with endless environmental voices and endless other press. Not endless, it used to be more back in the early days of email. More news, especially propaganda outlets, had emails. Now, it's tough to even get an email for them in a lot of cases. But believe me, I have been on these people for decades, and page 6 knows that this is fraudulent. They should, okay? Tips all the time. But I mean, does this get to the people who write these articles who do this? No. Where does it go? It gets thrown into the trash. Environmental voices are frauds. Leave that to Project Veritas. And Project Veritas is like, no, no, we're to catch a predator. We're not going to expose anybody. We do Mickey Mouse stuff here. So here we are, with the Royals pretending to be what Charles has been crying for decades, and is just one of a number of every proven failure out there. And they still just will not allow the solutions the world needs. But here they are, at COP26 with their extraordinary winners and finalists who, some of them have done some good work, but what the Earthshot Prize is refusing to use its voice for is light years more important. So that's so it's like I told Charles in my book about a decade ago, you might have to tone Royal down a bit. Okay, a lot, but I think your new little one is worth it, don't you? I tell me, remember, wealth is not an exception to environmental responsibility, neither is royalty. You're just another person who has as much responsibility to every other person to be a good global citizen. So, I tell him, hey, this could be a long chat. So, let's plan on 2 weeks in the Royalton box when Wimbledon's going on. Because up here, I told him, hey, Charles, why don't you do something with a twist, like global conferences with a twist, you know, with solutions. You can do that. The world needs it. You could actually use your voice and give the world solutions. Your new grandkid needs it. So for the new little king or queen, plus the 7 other billion people on the planet, as you say, the rest of the web of life that Earth needs to give humans life. But will the royals do it? No, they don't have to. It's just funny to them. It's just nothing that they're really interested in. They can just pretend. They can do Mickey Mouse work like everybody else. And then they can cheerlead themselves as grand. And since no one will tell the truth, and not even Project Veritas, the world believes the lie. So stay tuned, people. This is the only place you will get this truth.